guys, this is Ryo Murata, photographer based in Tokyo. Ever since this pandemic has been sweeping across this country ever since in March, it's getting harder and harder for me to go out and shoot, honestly. Let's be honest, we don't want to get out of bed and do the hard work, especially during this cold winter season. But I found a a solution to that. I realized that I could attach my remote control to my heater on the side of my bed frame so that I can just sacrifice one of my left arms for the journey across to press that button, and it works pretty well. I digress once again. But ever since this pandemic has started, I'm having this fear of riding the public transit, because if you guys know about Tokyo, it's mostly majority 90% is train transit. So riding long, what I call long train rides is becoming of a risk to me. And at the same time, I came across this instant camera that was being sold at a local camera shop, which is called the Kodak Funsaver. As the name suggests, it is an instant camera, meaning that it comes with a camera body itself. It's made out of plastic and it has film and batteries pre-installed. So once you get it out of the case enclosure, after buying this camera, I was curious about because I moved. I talked a little bit on my previous video. I actually moved and I actually never had the time to walk around the neighborhood to see if there was anything interesting across. So this was a great time for me to use my time to walk around in this peaceful neighborhood to see if there's was anything interesting to shoot around with. And because this is an instant camera and it can only shoot 27 exposures, I thought why not give it a try. So hopefully you guys can check the photos in the slideshow once again and hopefully enjoy the the view around my neighborhood. So yeah, let's get going. Kodak Funsaver instant camera, 27 exposure, here we go. So after shooting with this camera, there were a couple things that I realized after shooting. One is that this is a Kodak camera, so the film itself is made by Kodak, and if you ever shot with a Kodak camera, Kodak like films, you know that they tend to have that, you know, warmer type of like feel to it, so warmer tones, so that it kind of overemphasizes the orange color and the reds compared to Fuji, where Fuji overemphasizes the green, cyan, and the blue to give that quarter feel. So it's like the complete opposite of that. In my case, it's more like this camera's more like sort of like documenting everyday life and stuff like that. So that warmer tone is where it fits. And also, after shooting with this camera, I realized that the focal length is around 35 mil, if I'm right, or maybe 28 mil. So it's on the wider side, which I actually am not a fan of. And in my previous video, I shot with a GW690, which is a 90 millimeter lens. But if you convert it to a 35 mil, it becomes like a 35-40 mil, maybe on the 40 mil side. So I'm not of a fan of a wide angle lens because there's a lot of distortion that comes into play, and when you're shooting like architecture and some stuff like that, the longer focal length is much better because you get straight lines, straight like beautiful lines, which I really like to shoot with. Okay, so this is another thing that I realized after shooting with this instinct camera, and because it was a new experience to me, it felt weird because once you get the film negatives back, typically if you used to like shooting with 35 mil films, you get the first image, the first shot that you took on like your camera comes on the first row, while the last photo you took comes in the last row. It's the complete opposite using this camera. The first photo you took actually appears at the bottom, and the last photo actually appears at the top. And when you start like shooting, the exposure count starts from 27 and then it goes down to 26, 25, 24. So there's that kind of weird like iffiness going on, and in my mind I actually didn't like shooting in that kind of style because when you start like managing your film negatives, it doesn't feel right. It's not in periodical order, it's the complete opposite. So it felt actually weird, actually like really weird in my mind after shooting it, and it was not a joy to like shoot with because in the end what matters the most is the photo, and if that photo is not in a periodical order, it's like hard to manage in the long run when you start archiving those like film negatives. So that's basically it. So if you have like any comments regarding this camera, or if you have any comments like on anything, basically film cameras related, feel free to like leave in the comments below, and we'll see you next time. Peace.